Alright, so to get started today, I am at the sign-in page for Command. You can access this by going to agent.kw.com. And I'm going to go ahead and get signed in. I'll give you guys a moment to do the same. Alright, I am at the home page of Command. This is our dashboard. We're going to be working in contacts today. We'll be jumping a little bit back and forth from the contacts to the settings to show you different things that you can set up. Alright, and let's just go to our database. So we can access that by going over to the far left, clicking on this icon here for contacts. Alright, we can see our database here. There are a few different ways to bring over contacts into Command. We can add them individually, or we can import a whole list. So we're going to start today by manually adding a contact. So to do that, we're going to go over to the top right and click on this teal button here for Add Contact. Alright, and from here it's pretty straightforward. You basically go through and answer as many questions as you can to fill in the information for this contact. Of course, we need their name. If you wanted to, you can add in additional relationships. If this person had a spouse or another family member or somebody you wanted to add in, you could add that information here. You can add in their contact information. We have a choice of a personal, work, or other email. And you can add in more than one email, more than one phone number. That'll be available toward the bottom. We can add in a phone number. We have the option to select the owner. If you were part of a team, you would have more options here. You can mark them as a lead and also add them to your sales pipeline. And then down at the very bottom, there is a space for tags. So in Command, we don't have the option to create groups like we did in eEdge. We use tags instead. So you can see here, we have tags that are added by the system as well as tags that we have custom created. So you can see all of our tags here, and I'll show you shortly how you can also create additional tags. These are the ones we have added in currently. So I'll tag Scott as an associate. And then if we wanted to add additional information, all we would need to do is click on this button at the bottom for Add More Information. And then we can work our way through these additional drop-down menus. So if we click on this one here for additional contact information, we can select their preferred method of contact. We can add in those additional emails and phone numbers. We can add in their address. So one thing to note, if you did want to use, there is a feature in Command where you can use a mailing address or create mailing labels. You would need to select this option here. So if you're in Command and using your database to send out a mailer, what have you, for those contacts that you would like to send that to, you do have to select this option here. So just keep that in mind. You can add in social profiles, if you know the links for their Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can add those in. Whoa. So when you start to type that in, you can see that it adds in the facebook.com/section first, so you would just have to put in the last half of that URL. And if you wanted to add additional profiles, you could click Add Profile, and it's the same for the email, the phone number. So if we had their Facebook, their Twitter, their Instagram, I believe ours is instagram.com/ScottLeroyMarketing, so now those will be saved in this contacts information. We'll click on About, just more information that we can add in. Ooh, here we go. If they go by a different name, you can add in their legal name here, a description. You could say Scott Leroy is a buyer I met in Orlando. Whatever notes or descriptions you think will be helpful for you. You can add in their birthday, their home anniversary, additional relationships down here as well, company information. We'll move on to sales pipeline. You can mark this person as captured or connected and add in the lead source type. You can select from a list or select from contacts. So if this lead came from someone else, or maybe it came from one of these lead sources provided by Keller Williams. And by that I mean these lead sources from this dropdown are added in by KW. So if this person came from Amazon Polly, you can select that here. And the last thing is the custom section. So we do have the option to add in custom fields. So we can add in custom tags and custom fields. So a custom field is basically like a custom question of information that you might want to store for your contact. So maybe you need something more than what you have available in this information above. You can actually create a custom field and write in the answer for that person. So if I wanted to add a custom field, I can click on this option here. And the custom tags and custom fields do have to be added in the back end first, which I will show you. So once they are added, you will have the option to select them here when you're adding the contacts. So here we can see some of those custom fields that we have created. So this is one for time frame. You can see that that wasn't an option up here while we were filling out this contacts information. So we created a custom field for time frame, and we can write in the answer here. All right, so once we have added in as much information as we can, we'll go ahead and click Create. And that will add this contact to our database. So you can see some information that it's displaying here, of course, name. Anyone who is a lead will have this little L next to them. You can see information about the last time they visited and the last time they were contacted. Any tags, the stage they're in, their phone number, primary email, and the last time they were updated. All right, so the other way, or another way that you can add contacts to your database, probably the main way that agents will utilize is by importing. So if you have a large database, the easiest way for you to add your contacts over would be to import them. So we're going to go up to the top and click the import button. So you do have to use Command's import template to add contacts to the database. Unfortunately, if you have a list that you exported from Gmail or from your phone, if you try to add that in, it will not accept it. You do have to reformat the list first. But that's pretty easy, so I'm going to go ahead and download the command template here by clicking this download button. That will save to my computer. And we'll go ahead and open that up. All right, so this is the command import template. You can see there are quite a few fields on here. Of course, you don't have to add in everything, but you should add in as much information as you can. So to do this today, I'm going to show you how you can import your contacts from eEdge. So of course, if you have your list, basically what you're going to be doing is either typing in the contact information, or if you have a list from another source, you're basically going to be copying and pasting your contacts into this template so you can import it into Command. So a great way to do that, or a great example of that, would be to export our contacts out of eEdge, and then we can reformat them and put them onto this list and import them. So we're going to switch gears just a little bit and go over to eEdge. So right now I'm on my MyKW home screen. And we're going to go into our contacts here. So I'm going to click on View Contacts here in the eEdge control panel. All right, so here is our eEdge database. And the preferred method at this time to get your contacts from eEdge to Command would be to export them, reformat them, and then import into Command. So what we'll do is I will go ahead and click on Contacts at the top, and then select Export Contacts. All right, here you have the option to select any groups that you may have in eEdge. So if you have different groups, or really for any database, or for eEdge, you'll want to select those different groups and then probably save that document as the name of that group and import those individually with tags so that they will be separated in Command. Right now I just want to pull out all of my contacts, so I'm not going to select any groups, and I'm going to change my contact status to all. So that's just going to give me a list of everybody that I have in eEdge currently. So I'll go ahead and click Export, save that, and we'll go ahead and open that up. All right, so there's our eEdge list. So really this is going to be the same process once you get here for any database that you want to import into Command. This could be anything. This could be your Gmail list, your phone list, a list from MLS, what have you. You're basically what you want to do is we want to copy the contacts from this document into our Command import template. So I'll just go through and do that real quick. I'll copy all the first names, paste them into the appropriate column on the Command import template. You can see we're big Marvel fans over here at Scott Leroy Marketing. So we have Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, my favorite Matt Murdock in our database. Copy the cell phone. Oh, and I put that in the middle name. I will go ahead and move that. So you can see from eEdge to Command, this template is laid out pretty differently. So make sure you are pasting these into the right columns. I accidentally put the last names in the middle name column, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that. There we go. Email addresses. And there's some additional information on here like birthday, address. I'll go ahead and put in that address. And there we go. So there is additional information you can add on here. Of course, you can add in the middle name. There are spots for different phone numbers, 2 email addresses that you can add in, 2 physical addresses. Yeah. So we had a question to show how to export from eEdge. It's really easy. I'll go through this pretty quickly. It's super easy, and actually there might be a better shortcut. No, okay. So what we can do, from the home page of MyKW, we're just going to click View Contacts. And basically, you can get to the exporting page from anywhere. You just need to be in eEdge. So you could have clicked any one of those links on the eEdge control panel to be brought into eEdge. And then from there, you would click Contacts at the top, and then Export. And then you have these options here. So you can select groups and export them out group by group. And then the main thing to pay attention to on this page is the status. Cool, yeah, so I always say, if I were you and you're just trying to pull everyone out, change this to all. Where was I? I was in Excel, here we go. So you can see there's all this additional information that you can add in. You can add in company information, company address. There is actually a space for the tags on here. So if I wanted to tag anyone on this list as any one of these system tags, they have buyer, seller, bought, sold, agent, KW agent, allied resource, talent, and referral partner. Nope, and downline. There's a whole bunch. So if I wanted to tag anyone on my list as a buyer in command, all I would have to do is put a Y in this column. And once I import them, that tag will automatically be applied to those contacts. So I'll go ahead and add that in. If you wanted to add in any custom tags, you could just write those here. We love that custom tag Avenger. Actually, let's see. I actually have some Avengers. So columns 19 and 20 on my list. Under, excuse me, under custom tags, I'll go ahead and put Avenger. And once I import this list, those contacts will be tagged as whatever I designate here. There's a spot for notes, there's social media profiles, so lots of great stuff that you can add in. Of course, not all of this is required, but you do want to add in as much as you can. Once your list is formatted and ready to be imported, we can go ahead and save this. So one thing to note, I'm on a Mac, so I always save this as Windows comma separated. I've had trouble in the past where if I just save it as this first CSV, sometimes the system rejects it. So I always switch to Windows comma separated, and that doesn't give me any problems. So again, I'm on a Mac. Just one thing, if you do have any trouble when you're importing, and I would check this out to see what format you have it saved as. So I'll go ahead and save that. And then we will go back over to our command screen. So the pre-made CSV is all formatted and ready to go. So now all we have to do is import our list. All right, so I selected the file from my computer. And now all I have to do is hit import. And there we go, submitted. We've received your import request and your contacts will be available soon. This usually goes pretty quickly, which is awesome. So let's go ahead and click finish. And then since we didn't have that many contacts, it should go pretty quick. So I'm just going to give this a moment. We'll try refreshing a couple times. Hey, there we go. So we can see our contacts have been imported here. And you can see the tags that we added have been applied. So I do want to show you some different things that you can utilize on this page as well. There is, of course, a search bar up here, so if you were looking, if you have a lot of contacts, you can use this feature here to search for people by first name, last name, email, address, or everything. You can just type in whatever you need to in this box. I typed in Scott under first name, and it pulled up Scott. Looks like he's in here a few times. Scott Roy? Who's that? You can use different filters to search in here. We can search by all contacts or leads only. So if you are looking to only work with your leads, you could switch this to leads only, hit apply, and it'll show you your leads, only your leads in your database. I'll go back to filters. If you wanted to clear that now, we would have to click clear all, and it'll reset those filters for us. So different things that you can search by on here. You can search by tag. So if I only wanted to see contacts, these are system tags and custom tags. So these are tags created by Keller Williams, and these are custom tags that we've created. So if I only wanted to see my Avengers, I could click that custom tag, hit apply, and it'll show those people in my database. I'll click on filters again. So you guys get the general idea. There's just different filters, different ways to search through your database. Really helpful if you have a ton of people in here, hundreds or thousands of contacts. You can utilize these different filters to search for whomever you're looking for. I'll go ahead and click clear all and apply and go back to our general database. How do you add tags? All right, so you add tags in the settings section of command, so we're going to be jumping over there next. So the tags do have to be created ahead of time. So I'll show you that. I just didn't want to jump around. Usually in this class I jump around a little bit, so I'm trying to make it a little more concise. So we'll get to the tags, but they do have to be added ahead of time. Let's see the rest of this question. Can we export from command to see and manage our database for missing? Yes. So before we go back into the settings to show you guys how to create those custom tags and those custom fields, there's a few more things I do want to show you on this page. So we have some options here. If we wanted to, before we switch to that, last thing about filters, you can create basically custom filters that are called smart views. So if you know that you are frequently going to want to see your leads that are also Avengers, I think that's what I am marked at in this database. So let's go ahead. You know that you are searching for this. You're going to come back to these people often. What you can do is you can come in here, select all those filters that apply, click apply. Oh, nope, I guess that doesn't show anybody. Bear with me for one moment. Okay, oh, I am an Avenger. All right, so what you can do is you can go into your filters, select any filters that apply. Maybe you're looking at Avengers that came from a specific lead source, what have you. So you can add in those fields or designations, and then you can actually save that as a smart view. So if I wanted to create a new smart view based on those filters that I just applied, I can go ahead and do that. I clicked on this drop down here and clicked the option for Create Smart View. And I can name this Avengers and click Save Smart View. So now, rather than going into my filters every time and selecting these different options, I can just, I'll go ahead and clear this so you guys can see. I can actually just go over to my smart views, which are all listed here, click my smart view for Avengers, and it quickly will pull up those contacts with the filters that I've selected for the Smart View. Great question. So there is not. So we would have to delete those. So I do see, yeah, he was in here 3 times. Yeah, he's in here 3 times. So oh no, Bruce Banner. Yeah, so I think because a couple of these have, I think these are all, these 2 have different emails, so that's why that one was duplicated. This one, maybe there was a different phone number or something on here. I am not sure why this one was duplicated. This, there are 2 because these 2 had different emails, so that's why that one was added in twice. But I'm not sure why this, bruce@theavengers.com, was added in, so we would have to manually go in and delete those. So I'll go ahead and show you guys a couple more things on here before we get back into the settings. So if we wanted to delete a contact, so this Bruce Banner is in here 3 times, so I'll just delete the first 2. What you can do, you can select any of your contacts here that you wanted to bulk update. So you can see now I've selected multiple contacts and this new drop down appeared. It says select bulk action, and when we open that up, we have some options here. We can add a note, we can archive, we can send a bulk text, add bulk tags, so basically update the tags on these, add to an email list, share the contacts if you are part of a team, mark as lead, unmark as lead, add to SmartPlan, export, and export mailing label. So I want to show you guys a few of these options here. So to delete contacts, you first have to archive them. So what that does is that moves them into the archive section in your settings, and then from there we can delete them. So if I wanted Bruce to be archived, I can go ahead and click this archive option. It does ask you to confirm. And once we confirm that, you can see he has been pulled out of our database. So he isn't actually gone. That contact isn't deleted yet. Yes. All right. So let's go ahead and switch gears and go into our settings. So we just archived that contact. They're not deleted yet. Thankfully, we can, if we need to, still restore them. So we're going to click on our name up at the top right, and then click on Settings. All right, from here, we'll go over to the left and click on Command Settings. And there's a few things in here that I want to point out. All right, so we're going to click on Contacts here. And we have a few options. We have Contact Archive, Database Wipe, Custom Tags, and Custom Fields. So we'll go to Contact Archive first, and then I'll get to your question about Teams here in a moment. So you can see these are the contacts that we just archived. They are still in our database. We have the option to restore them, and once we click Restore, that'll move them back over as like a live contact in your database. So here it shows first name, last name, and the date archived. So this is a great feature. Say you have people in your database that are not ready to make any moves just yet. Maybe you have a seller who you want to keep in contact with, but they're not ready to sell or they're not ready to buy. You don't want to accidentally add them to a mailing list or something. You can add them to your contact archive and you can just keep them here. It's almost like a storage locker. So when they do become interested again, you can choose to restore them and that'll put them back in your database. You can also delete them by clicking this trash can button, and that will permanently delete them from your database. So this is taking a few moments to refresh, but it will delete them. If you wanted to, if you have a bunch of people in here and you need to do like a full wipe, you can select all of the contacts here by clicking this box. That selected everybody. We can restore the selected or permanently delete them. So I'll click delete selected permanently, click OK, and now those contacts will be wiped. I just did this before class, and it was taking a few moments for them to actually disappear from this page, but when I came back, they were gone. So that is how you can archive and then delete. We do also have the option for database wipe. So if you need to, for some reason, just clear out your whole database, you can come here. This is probably the easiest way to do it. You can click Archive All Contacts, and that will pull everybody over from My Contacts, or from Contacts, into Contact Archive. And then click Delete All Archived Contacts, and that'll delete them. So that's the easiest way to go ahead and delete people. Let's see if this... Yeah, this is taking a few moments, but just check back on that. These should be deleted any moment now. So that's the easiest way to archive and then delete. While we're here, I do want to point out the custom tags and custom fields. So this is where you can add in that information. Like I said, these do have to be created before you add contacts to the database. So we can see all of my custom tags here. I can edit them by clicking on the pencil button. I can delete them by clicking on the trash can button. And if I wanted to create a new tag, I can click on that, and then you simply just type in the name of the tag. I'll say PTA group. You can choose a color if you'd like. That helps you keep track of the tag. Hit create. And now when we go in to add a new contact, we will have the option to select this tag that we just created. Same sort of thing with custom fields. I'll go ahead and click that on the left. You can see all of our custom fields here. Again, we have the option to edit or delete. You can search through your custom fields here if you have a lot and you're looking for a specific one. And then if we wanted to create a new field, same sort of thing, we'll click Create New Custom Field at the top. So like I said before, this is basically like an extra question or any additional information that you might want to store for someone in your database that command doesn't automatically have the option for. So they have some examples here: favorite sports team, hometown. I'll just add in favorite sports team. So that's my custom field name, basically the question we're asking, and then down below for custom field type, how we're going to answer it. So we have text field, text area, drop down, date, checkbox, number, URL, percentage, and currency. So this is all dependent upon what kind of information you're collecting. Since this is something that we're going to want to write in the answer for, we'll go ahead and select text field. So now when we add a contact, we can go down to that section I showed you at the beginning where it said add custom field. I can select favorite sports team, and then there will be a box where I can write down what their favorite sports team is. Alright, so I can click create, and now that should be available for me to add in when I add a new contact. Another thing I want to point out while we're here, over on the left, there is a spot for import logs. So if we click on import logs and then my logs, this is a really great feature. If you have ever imported into command, that information is actually stored here for you. So you can see all of your imports that you've done. It'll show you the date that it was started, the date completed, date and time. So you can see this happened within the same minute, which is awesome, super quick. It'll show you how many contacts imported, how many failed. And then it actually saves the original file. So if you ever need your contact list that was imported, you do have access to that here. If you ever needed to see the error file, so if you can see 18 contacts failed here, you can download this file and it'll show you all those contacts that did not get imported. So let me get back to some of your questions that you guys had. So for the team, so unfortunately I'm not in a team account now, so I can't really show you guys this. The team leader does not lose rights or ownership of that contact. It's so and we have a video on this on our YouTube page. Leah just created it a few weeks ago about sharing contacts to your teammates. You have the option, it's basically copied over, so you can give that person the option to just view it, or you can give them the option to edit it, but it still is yours. And then as far as no logs, that may be an error if you have imported before. I know that had happened previously where the logs were not displaying. So if you have, I would maybe give that some time, maybe check back later, and they may actually be there if you have imported in the past. All right. So since we're in our settings now, I do want to point out just a couple more things before we go back to our database, and I'll show you guys some more information about exporting and how you can add more information for your contacts. But while we're here in the settings, we're going to go over to the top left again and click on, we're under command settings, we'll click on applications. Ooh, okay, I have a contact already in command. So I would probably delete one. I would probably keep the one that's linked to the app, because I believe with the new app that should show you her activity on the app. But before you remove anybody, I would make sure that all the information is the same, because it's possible that maybe it's different and that's why it was duplicated. But I would say for that, if you're unsure, maybe give us a call into our support line or send us an email after class, and we can definitely look into that further for you. But great question. All right, so I'm in the applications now. There's just a few things in here I want to point out while we're in our settings before we jump back to our database. So on this page, and when you go and you click on your name at the top right and click on settings, this is actually the page it brings you to first. You can see all of your apps that are currently connected to Command. Up at the top, it shows you the connected apps. So we have DocuSign, Dotloop, Facebook. I want to point out PISync and a couple other things in here. So you do have the option to sync contacts to Command through this app called PISync. So PISync works with over 150 different applications, and it makes it really easy for you to pull over your contacts without having to go through that import process that we just did. So we have one account connected. If we didn't have any, it would show a button like this that says Connect Account. It looks like we have one connected currently, so I'm going to click Show Details. Oh, my contacts are connected. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect that. There we go. All right. So now PISync has moved down to the bottom, and I'll go ahead and show you this. So we can click Connect Account, and this is a really great tool that you can utilize. So when we click Connect Account, it is going to show us all of the different apps that we can use to bring over our contacts. So if you have contacts in Google, Outlook, Exchange, iCloud, or any of these other apps, you can select whatever app that is, Let's say Outlook. And then basically what it will do, actually I'll go ahead and show you Google, because then I can show you the whole process. All right, so we can choose our app. I'll go ahead and choose Google Accounts or Google Contacts. And then it basically will ask you to sign in. You can choose an account. These are ones that we have done previously. So you can choose an existing account, or you can add a new account here, and it'll basically just ask you to sign in. And then we'll click Configure the sync between Google Contacts and KW Command. So you'll see once we click on that, it's going to bring us over into PISync and give us different options here. So there is a way through PISync to make these options basically communicate with each other. So it says if you can set up different rules. If a contact is in Google Contact, have it be a two-way sync between Google Contacts and Command. So if anything is updated in either one of these platforms, it'll be updated on the other place as well. Basically what that means. You can set up these rules. You can delete them if you don't want them to be updated at the same time. Totally up to you. You can add additional rules. You can choose to avoid duplicates. And then the main thing I want to point out here, it does its best to match up the fields. So if there is a middle name in Google, it's going to put it in the middle name section in Command. So you might just want to glance at this super quickly just to make sure that these line up. So for example, Google lists this as job title. In Command, they're going to put that as title/profession. So usually this matches up pretty well. So you might just want to take a quick peek at that. And then I'm not actually going to sync my contacts. So once you have all of these rules set up and you've configured your connection, you can click Start Syncing Now, and that's going to pull over my contacts from Gmail or Google into Command. So this is a really great feature, really easy to use. I believe the first import is free, and then it is a paid service. So just keep that in mind. But again, really great and easy way to get your contacts into Command. And if you guys are choosing to use this and you have any questions, definitely let us know and we can assist. But I'm actually going to exit out of there because I don't want to pull over my Google Contacts. A couple other things I want to point out. You can sync your Gmail. Your Gmail and your Office 365. These will sync over any email interactions that you have with your contacts in your database. So that's really cool. It'll be saved in their information. There is a way to sync eEdge, but at this time, the preferred method to bring over your eEdge contacts would be what I showed you at the beginning of class, the manual exporting and then importing. That is still the best way to do that at this time. All right, so those are the main applications that I wanted to point out. We're going to jump back over to our database so I can show you just a couple more things before we wrap up today. So we'll go over to the top left and click on Contacts, and that'll bring us back to the database. So I showed you guys how we can sort through our contacts, how we can create smart views, use the filters, bulk update, archiving, and deleting. If I wanted to export contacts, that is an option as well. I can select the contacts that I'd like to export. And you can see this option here for select bulk action did pop up again. And we have all these options here. But down at the bottom, we have the option for export contacts. So when I click on that, it'll say that message popped up and I already forgot what it said. It said basically your export is ready. Okay, your export was successful. Please check your notifications. So this can take just a moment. I've had to refresh my page. This is one I did earlier. So Once that export is complete, it'll show a notification here, so a little red dot next to that bell at the top. I'm going to try refreshing this. And there we go. Once we click on that bell, we can see my most recent export, and I can click here to download that list. So please note, at this time you can only export 50 contacts at a time. So just keep that in mind. And I'm actually going to dismiss these because we have a lot of notifications at the top. So to make sure that you notice when you actually have a new notification, I would go through and dismiss these. There we go. So then when you do have a new notification, there will be a little red dot here. I think you can only display 10 at a time. I don't think there is a way to show 50 on one page at this time. Alright, so a couple other things I want to show you. We're going to go ahead and go into a contact so I can show you how you can edit and update information. So I clicked on a contact and you can see all of the contact's information here. You can see the tags. We can see that they are marked as a lead. If we wanted to have them no longer be designated as a lead, I could uncheck that box and that'll update right away. We can see contact information here. If we needed to make any changes to this, we could click on this pencil button here. And there are just quite a few options I want to point out in here. If we wanted to add this contact to a smart plan, we can do that from this button here, Add to Smart Plan. If we wanted to archive, we could archive them here, and of course that'll move them into the contact archive in our settings. Over here on the right, we can see a timeline of this contact's activity. We can see that this contact recently unsubscribed from some neighborhood emails that we were sending out. We can see on January 23rd, they viewed a neighborhood snapshot landing page. So this is basically just a timeline of the activity you've had with this contact. You can see their opportunities here, as well as create an opportunity from this page as well. Smart plans, you can add this contact to a smart plan. So either from this button here or here. You can add in tasks or see any current tasks. Add in notes, and then view any saved searches. Down here at the bottom, there's this plus sign, so if you needed to add in any activity. So if you add in activity, that's going to show up here on the timeline. So for example, I can click Add Activity, whether that was a meeting, a call, text, or quick note. So I can say, met Bailey for lunch. Not sure why I capitalized lunch. It's that important to me. So I can click Save, and you can see that was added to my timeline here. If you click on that plus sign again, you can add a note, or you can add a calendar event, and this will actually pull up your Google Calendar, and you can add that over there. So the last thing I want to point out before we wrap up today, in the contact that you're working in, you have the option to create these really cool neighborhood snapshot pages. So if you scroll down, if you're in a contact and you scroll down on this left section, you can click, you see the section for neighborhoods. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Add Neighborhood. And we have a few options here. We can search for a neighborhood by name, or we can find it on a map. So I typed in West End, and you can see once I start to do that, it pulls up this little preview here, and it shows Nashville, which is where I am, and then this is the neighborhood that I just added in. You can add in any suggested neighborhoods really easily from down here. So when I click Sobro, it adds that as well. So you can use these suggested neighborhoods. You can search for them here. You can also go on a map. If you don't see the neighborhood that you are looking for, like you're searching for the name and it's just not popping up, we recommend going in through the map. Whoa! So you can see, get all the way over to Nashville. So you can see I'm on the map and it's pulling up neighborhoods. So if you can't find the neighborhood you're looking for by name, you may just have to pull up the map and kind of click around on the neighborhoods that it provides. Zooming in. My computer's going a little slow. Okay, there we go. Woo. All right, so you can select different neighborhoods based on the map. So you can see it kind of breaks it down for you. So like I said, if you can't find your neighborhood, you might have to manually piece it together. So let's say I want Wedgwood, Houston, and Edge Hill, Fort Negley. I can click Save. So now, so you guys can get a better idea of what I'm actually doing. So you can see I selected these neighborhoods. And now if I go ahead and go to this page, I'll go ahead and copy link. Oh, there we go. And then go to that link. You can see it created this neighborhood snapshot. So this is great to send to your buyers based on whatever neighborhoods they're interested in buying in. So it started with Sobro. Let's look at Wedgwood, Houston. Actually, I want something that's, okay, this one has some photos. So you can see, you can select different neighborhoods at the top. They can actually add additional neighborhoods if they'd like. Down on the left, there is a map actually showing that neighborhood. And then over on the right, it shows listings in that neighborhood. So they can scroll through different listings. Oh, this one's so cute with the pink and white. Love that. So they can scroll through different listings, and then down at the bottom it does have your contact information and a contact form. And then your little footer here. All of this information is pulled from your marketing profile. So if we've done a setup for you, we have added all of this in, but you can always go through and update that. That is in your settings. But it's really cool. So they can scroll through. No, I don't believe so. Great question. Do we share this through? So this you have to actually go in and create the link. It is different from that monthly neighborhood email in the smart plans. You would have to go through and create the link here, and then you can copy that and send it to them. So they can scroll through the different neighborhoods. And then, so this is the home page, but if we go over to neighborhood stats, it kind of breaks it down a little bit more. So we can select whatever neighborhood. It shows the map again. It shows us that there are 5 homes for sale, the average home price, average price per square foot, average days on market. And then if you scroll down, there's just more information about the neighborhood, current stats and sold stats. Looks like there's not. This is a big park area, so here we go. Here, this one has some more listings. So you can see information, more stats. There is a great option for transit and commute. So if somebody's looking to live in this area, but they work in a different part of town, they can actually search for that place that they're going to be frequenting, and then it'll show you what the commute is like, which is a really great tool. And then there are some places. So it shows different businesses, restaurants, bars, shopping, different places that they might want to check out in that neighborhood. So really cool just to show you what is available. And then again, some more listings down here. And then if they want to, they can go through and click on different neighborhoods nearby, just more suggestions for them. And then of course your contact info down at the bottom. So this is just another really great tool available to you within Command. To create this, you do have to go into the individual contact, but it's not branded to them, so you can create this. It's just based on the neighborhood. So if you wanted to, you could create this on a neighborhood, send it to whomever, you can email it, you can post this on Facebook, work with it in whatever way you prefer. So that is about it for today. I know we went over quite a bit, and we did kind of jump around from the contacts and the settings. So if you guys have further questions, please feel free to get in touch with us. I do have this class recorded, so this will be up on YouTube shortly if you do need to review, or you just want to send it to your friends, tell them how great this class was. But I'm going to go ahead and pull up our contact information. So if you guys need help with anything, definitely let us know. We are here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern on emails and 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern on phones. And thanks for your great questions today. If you have further questions or just need clarification on anything, definitely reach out to us. But thank you guys again for sticking around and watching our class. If you need anything, let us know. And if not, we'll talk to you soon.